quite a shocking event that's come to light. In a shocker, images of college girls have been put up on porn sites across of Bengaluru. In fact, this is now surfaced. A complaint also has been filed. Girls from Ramaya College in Bengaluru, St. Joseph's College in Bengaluru and RNSIT have complained of their images being stolen from social media accounts and put up on several porn sites, leaving them, their families devastated. And what's all the more shocking is that the accused could be one of their own batchmates. As many as 7 complaints have been filed with the police and the CCB in Bengaluru. The police have also arrested 2 people in the case, one of them being a college student, a boy studying in a private college, a batchmate of these girls. He allegedly gave away these photos to make some quick buck, make some money is what is being accused. The photos were reportedly taken from social media platforms of these girls like Instagram, Facebook. The pictures were posted in obscene manner, and this was reportedly been going on. Pictures have been put up of these girls from various colleges in Bengaluru for at least 2 months now. Several cases of such nature have come to light. 7 complaints have been filed as well. The cyber police have now managed to pull down the page amid much outrage by students across of Bengaluru as well as their families. A campaign has now been flagged off to alert college girls across of Bengaluru on the same. Even though 2 of these men have been arrested, one college student himself who allegedly gave away his own batchmates' photographs to certain websites, porn websites, and another man, allegedly a 37-year-old man who's also been arrested, who's an engineer and has lost his job, and he wanted to make a quick buck and then eventually join hands with this college boy and then try to sell off these photos to porn sites. This has now caused great concern and worry to families and college students across of Bengaluru. Several private colleges and girls studying in these private colleges have now become victims. Let's quickly cut across to a few of these students who are joining us, who are willing to speak about the ordeal. They fought for these victims. In fact, their classmates, their batchmates, they're all studying in various colleges. I have with me joining us Samyukta, who's a student in Bengaluru, whose friends have been victim to this kind of atrocity. In fact, we also have Medha joining us for more details on this. Let's quickly start with Medha. Medha is one of the victims' close friends, and she knows exactly what really transpired. Medha, you must have been shocked to see that your own friends' images have been put up on porn sites. How did this really happen? Take us through the ordeal here. What exactly transpired?
I think it was a very, very shocking situation for all of us to see. And the fact that it blew over so quickly is what really stays back in your mind. So some of my friends, and one of them being Nitika Shivani, is a witness to this. And her first opinion about the whole thing was, you'd be surprised to see that your own friends and your batchmates are the ones that circulate these images and share them. Why is the first thought in people's minds not, what's the best step to do? The first thing to do is go back to that person and report this, and that's not what's being done. So I think the
Are
way
you
this
saying
whole
colleges
thing is
hesitated to support these girls?
And mainly because this is something that's being shut out, right?
Samyukta, you wanted to jump in? Yeah, were colleges hesitating to take up the complaint and file it on behalf?
No, I think colleges were very proactive in that sense in reporting the issue. But I just feel like as authorities and as institutions to which the students go to, there could have been a little more, a different way in which they could have approached it. Because the immediate response was to ask the students to deactivate their accounts, ask them to take down their pictures, ask them to archive their pictures. They just kind of created more fear amongst the students. And, the report was also, it did take a little while for them to go report to the police. And I don't exactly know what's happening with the case right now.
Now, we understand that this case has been on for close to 2 months, that photographs of girls in private colleges in Bengaluru were taken and put up on porn sites. 2 months on, several complaints were raised, but we hear that the cyber cops also hesitated to a large extent to take up the complaint. Well, let me cut across to Medini joining us. Medini, here what we see is quite shocking. How did you receive it? The first things first that people might tell you is, why would you even put up your personal pictures on social media platforms. Stop, deactivate your social media platforms. Why do you have to put up pictures on Instagram and Facebook? Why do you have to put provocative pictures? You know what I mean?
Yes,
That's the first reaction that you would get.
Definitely. And in fact, that is the first reaction I got. I mean, I had a friend who called me up and said, this is happening. If your account is public, make it private, archive your pictures. And it's very disappointing to see that that's the first reaction that we receive when things like this happen. Because why should we be the ones to take 3 steps back when it's our safety, even though it's our safety that's at risk? That's not how it's supposed to be. And the first thing I also did was to call up my friends, reach out to them and say, guys, please make your accounts private, archive your pictures, disable your accounts. And I think that, that being the first reaction is a problem itself. We need to question why that's the first thing that comes to our head. Why don't we talk about, seeking justice or taking actions?
Right. We're going to patch you back again. Let's quickly cut across to Samyukta. Samyukta, the situation that was reported right when the news broke out, how did many of your friends react to it? We're trying our best to try and get them to speak, but we totally understand that they're upset. They don't want to come before cameras and speak, but you're doing it on behalf of them. Tell us, how did they receive it and how are their families receiving it?
I think what's really shocking is that as soon as the issue broke out, and a lot of, especially the institute where it started out, there were posts that went out saying, girls, immediately deactivate your account. And I follow I have a lot of friends who go to that same college, and I saw a drop in immediately 20 accounts. All of them had deactivated it. All of them had deleted their pictures. And everybody was in this, everybody was living this like crippling fear. And there were these WhatsApp forwards going around with screenshots of the images, which I think does not serve the purpose. That is not the way you raise awareness about the issue, or you bring the issue to light. Because if you're sharing screenshots of the images that are already up there, I just think it's furthering the intention of the person who put it up in the first place.
And what's all the more shocking, Samyukta, is that one of those boys who've been arrested is a boy studying in that private college. His own classmates, batchmates, photographs that he's released to a porn website. And that's what's sending me chills. I can't even imagine the boy studying in the same college. He's getting the same education as all the other girls. Ideally, he should be respectable to all those women in his own class, in his own batch. But here's a guy who's out there trying to make a quick buck, and there's no monitoring whatsoever.
Yeah, if I may add in, ma'am, I think that's the problem. Like, Bangalore is, appreciated to be a city that is so student-friendly, that gets students from all across the country, and is so, and it's so liberal in that sense. And it's so shocking to see students from really prestigious institutions as that, kind of stooping down to acts such as this, and that's what is really shocking.
Right, Medha, you did mention about how girls have been, left, right, and centre reporting such cases. Not just the 3 colleges that we mentioned, Joseph's, St. Joseph's. You have students of Ramaya College, RNSIT College complaining of their pictures going up on porn sites. But several other colleges, students have flagged this issue. But the cybercrime didn't really take this up as seriously. What does this really do to you as damage mentally and your family? Not just to you, also to your family. Please take us through the damage this really does.
I think for everybody in this situation, even if you're someone that wants to talk about this or put this opinion out there, it's about how, as a family, you don't want anything to come across incorrectly. You want to just be protective. You're very, very protective about your family members. So for anyone to speak up about this by itself takes a lot of courage and guts. And you need every kind of backing. In 100 people, if there's even one person telling you this is your fault as the victim, that itself shuts you out for anything at all to make that next move. So I think it's important that, all of us can help these people speak up and voice their opinion on a platform like this.
Let me quickly go over to Pavan Duggal, our cyber expert, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Pavan, here are images that are being stolen by college students, some boys, and of their own batchmates and classmates. In fact, some teachers, college teachers' pictures have also been stolen from social media and given to porn websites. This has been on in Bengaluru for about 2 months, and now the cybercrime police have finally pulled up 2 men for it, and they've pulled down those pages. But how do you really avoid a situation like this, while the students can still enjoy their time on social media?
as students, we need to suddenly start realizing that we need to share information on a need-to-know basis. As students, we are all too generous and sharing all kinds of information, which becomes a starting point of bigger problems. Number two, it's very, very important to start inculcating a culture of distrust and mistrust when you have started access to the internet during COVID-19 times. Because the chances of your information being potentially misused against you can be very, very high. Now, you say this matter has been going on for the last 2 months in Bengaluru, and now only the police has come up with 2 arrests or whatever. I think it's better for us to realize that if we are going to post all kinds of pictures on social media without even scrubbing them, without taking the metadata out, these pictures will tantamount to being an open invitation to cyber criminals to go ahead and target you by misutilizing the metadata and your location details. So let's get this very clear. There's no need to share anything which is very personal online. But people need to be sensitized that if they're not going to be careful or due diligent, such kind of over-vomiting of information could harm the legal interests in the long run.
Medha and Samyukta, thank you very much for speaking to us. Would you like to give a last word to those girls who are currently in distress in Bengaluru?
If I may, come in at this point, I'd just like to say that social media currently has become a very dynamic space for us as users. And a lot of us are not just using it for recreation or just for leisure and posting images anymore. A lot of us are influencers, we're content creators, and we're doing so much more on social media. We're taking a lot of us are taking our livelihoods on social media and making businesses out of it. So incidents like this really, and we just, at this point, we need support from our authorities, we need support from our family and, people that we can confide in. And at that point, if I just think that right now, the girls who are affected, I feel deeply, I really empathize with you all.
Absolutely. Samyukta, we totally, we empathize with them too. Thank you very much, both of you. We really appreciate the fact that you came forward and spoke for all